Welcome to Academy of Tone 262. Yeah, I'm back here in the studio and I was on tour for 2 complete weeks, 2 full weeks. I think we played 10 or 11 gigs. And this episode is about a few things. It's a twin guitar thing that I was doing with Ben Granfelt on the tour with Blug, Granfelt Engelien, featuring Tommy Fischer on drums. We saw a little snippet at the beginning. But also there is, I will show you some of the AMPX, how I use it on tour. I will show you Ben's pedalboard, so we have some gear talk here. On the other hand, I have a nice interview for the end of this episode with Ben's latest release. Ben is unbelievable. I think it's his 21st CD release. He has, well, it's actually coming out on the 30th, which is it tomorrow or the day after tomorrow? So, I mean, yeah, we have a sneak preview on this one. I have done some interviews with people on the road. I give you details in my touring schedule and nice behind-the-scenes stories. But before we start with this topic, there's something coming up this weekend which is slightly different because it is the first ever Metalcon. Metalcon is a meeting in Frankfurt at the Studio 301, and a lot of metal producers, and you know, it's more about how to make the great sounds for metal in the studio. And I will go there on Saturday, but the whole event starts already Friday, 30th. I don't have the time for 3 days, so I'm going there on Saturday where they have more guitar-related topics. There is Christian Kohle from the Kohle Keller Studios. There is Lasse Lammert, you know, a few guys that I already know. And I'm just curious to see who else is there, you know, producers. I'm sure I will learn something from their experience because, as everybody knows, I'm a classic rock kind of guy that also does a little metal, and I want to learn about the latest that these guys are using when recording guitar, metal guitar, and what's at stake when it comes to metal guitar. Yeah, it's the first ever event in that kind of direction, so I'm not expecting hundreds of people. I think it's also kind of expensive in a way, but I will report you guys about this event in the next episode. Really excited, looking forward to check out what is going on in the metal scene, and especially because it's a studio, we really can talk tone, we can listen, we can try things, and yeah, it's not a blah 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 event, it's experts. Okay, yeah, let's talk a little bit about what we have done on the tour. Maybe you all knew that I was using the AMPX prototype, which is sitting in front of me. And this is exactly the amp that I was using on the tour. When I play with my Rock Anarchy, I play a different bank. It's A, B, C, D, E. On the Rock Anarchy, I have bank E. On the Blug Granfelt Engelien, I use the bank D. And I was super minimal. So I was using just the AMPX, no extra pedal, no wah-wah, which I sometimes, which I'm doing when I play with Rock Anarchy. But let me show you what this sounds like and what kind of sounds I was using in the band. And I was keeping it rather simple, and you might see that actually that is a lot you can do with just that. The setup here is fairly simple. There's only power in. Well, this is the guitar in and that's the out. I'm not using a speaker at this moment. Of course, live I was using my fat cap on the speaker outs, but you know, for this live stream that we have, I'm just using the one XLR out. I'm not even going stereo because two guitars was not needed. Yeah, and that was all. So super fast setup job. I just came there with my little AMPX, here it is, case, and there's some room for the guitar cable and the power cord, you might see it. So this is straight from the tour, and plug in. I was always the first one ready for sound check, which is a quality. Yeah, talking about the gear, one little mention, Tommy Fisher, our drummer, was using a new Tama set with bigger toms, which I really enjoyed because it sounded warmer. So he's also in two-tone, but drum tone. Okay, let's show you a little bit about the AMPX. So this is my main sound. For instance, basically I have like only two knobs that I was using the most. This is a Mercury vintage channel, which I have on my AMPX. Everybody knows that's my bread and butter sound. And yeah, and this switch here is the Replex, which is Houston Kettner's Replex. I think I have them all in the company. No, they're not here anymore. I have several Replexes. I have, you know, one of those similar ones looked like this. Tube tape echo things. And that's my go-to spacey sound when I... The way I use this foot switch is when it's like bright, it's maximum delay volume. I could also use an expression pedal to control the volume of the delay, but I want it to be lean and small. So with the bright color here, I have the maximum delay. When I hit it one more time, it's reduced in color, in brightness, and in volume. You can still hear it, and then when I hit it another time, then it's off. There's only the post delay, which is like a DD2 Boss. Where's my DD2? It's also not here. Yeah, this happens when you go on tour. You bring the stuff somewhere and it's all at the company. Anyway, so this is my main switch for my delays. And the other function here is I press and hold and then I get my tuner. You know, like, see, this is how to get the guitar in tune. I know it's not in tune, you know. So that's the way this switch works. And on like this preset, I also have a B preset. There's a different tempo. Maybe you can notice, you do know? depending on the preset, I have a different delay time stored to the two different presets. My main sound, let's get rid of the delay or leave it in the middle, is this one. And that is my 50 watt plexi. It is not this one. Again, sits in the company. Yeah, because we modeled it for the AMPX. And this one is like fully cranked, and that's my main sound. I can do anything with this amp and with this sound. Listen to this. When I have the guitar and I put it simply from 0 to 1 to 2. That's 1, 2. 5. 7. 'Yeah, so this is my main sound, and I don't need anything more than this, because I can do anything from clean to, singing leads, all with my volume control. And that's the big thing about the AMPX, because that's using power amp saturation, and at this point there's not even a guitar speaker connected. That is groundbreaking. We are the only company that has power amp saturation, exactly like when you would have connected a real guitar speaker without having that. That's the dream. And yeah, that's here, and that's why AMPX takes long, because we take care of all these details. And I mean, you could hear feedback. I'm sitting here and still talking, and yeah, that's my main sound. Besides, so that's this one. Usually you would get this only with the fully cranked Marshall, which is here but at living room volume. Okay, I'm excited anyway. Back to my presets. Here, for instance, I have a special delay preset where I use like a... all this kind of different tones. Here I have my phaser. That's the one that is a little bit more dry. And then for the big chorus, which is epic, okay, you get a picture. This is tons of different reverbs, and this is still mono. This could be ping pong, but I wasn't using anything stereo here. And honestly, there is a lead sound, and I didn't use it because I did everything with this one preset here. Very simple. And that's also something I learned. When you are on tour, less is more. The more presets you have to take care of, the more you are distracted from playing, the more you think about, oh, is the volume correct? Is it? In the end, when you are on tour, you should play, enjoy the moment, and make music. And this is just a tool. And for me, you know, doing the volume on the guitar thing is, I don't need a channel switching or anything. You know, it's a thing that my heroes have done too. It's less is more. They have a specific sound that is their iconic tone, no matter if it's Gary Moore or Santana or Jeff Beck, and the rest is playing. And it's not like stepping through 130 presets during a show. Anyway, that's my concept, and that's what I can do with AMPX. Okay, I have a little clip for you guys with our rigs, a very short rig rundown, and I also made a clip me playing Ben's rig, so you can hear that guitar over the AMP1, Blue Box, and all the pedals that he is using. And then you can compare. It sounds pretty good, no question about it. Yeah, check it out. So here we are, the stage. There is my trusty 61. There is my spare guitar, which is a BluGuitar master build. My good old Fat Cap, the AMPX in tuner mode, pedalboard of Mr. Engelien. I have no idea, I'm not a bass player, but this is what he's using. I can hear the wah-wah, and the most always important thing is the alarm clock to finish the gig. That's his bass rig EBS cabinet and amp, super Tama drum. Your guitars still?
Yeah, it's still
the
this 63. I changed the pick guard because, well, you know,
for a change.
For a change.
Yeah.
You know, everybody asks what that tape bit is there.
Well, it looks very different in color.
But you know, when I fly with the guitars, I take the tremolo out and there's the little springs. I put the tape there in the hole so I don't lose the spring.
Yeah.
But you know, I used to have it up here.
Yeah.
And there was like on some Finnish bullshit talks. They said, Ben always has tape here. And then I told one guy, yeah, because the resonating is too much right there.
Oh yeah.
And so there was a big talk about that. Guys, please.
Yeah, come on. Well, it's good.
And then this is the other one. This is from Real Guitars in Germany. And it's basically...
Uli Stöveken is the guy behind.
Klopman pickups and that's it.
The standard fat cap.
Yeah.
And this is...
I don't think there's anything new. I've rearranged it a little. Yeah, the delay is new.
Yeah, this is a STE 3000. The remake of the good old
rack
mount.
Yeah.
Well, it was a classic.
It's amp one and everything is controlled from here, you know.
Yeah, MIDI.
And the loops. I don't have the Octavia is not in the loop because I like to switch it on whenever I like, and it sounds better when it's in front of everything.
Yeah, sure.
And the same thing is with this shimmer reverb that I use as an effect. I switch it on whenever I like. But the cool thing with the delay is that since I play mono now, so if one preset, let's say, we're at here, I have 2 delays on in that preset, but I can switch them off if I like in the middle. So if on preset 1 there's only one, I have another delay here.
Yeah.
If needed.
If you need it. Yeah. And it's also nice to have it on a separate switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very simple stuff basically. And underneath there's the blue box is there, it comes out there, and then there's the secret weapon, one of your pedals, and the
Sweet Leo, which is the cheap X5 pedal. It's a low gain overdrive that you probably use.
What it does to me is when I use the Strat, I get a fat, almost Les Paul tone, and I don't use it with our set, but sometimes with my own stuff. And then there's also a Pico preamp, one of those small Ecoplex preamps that I use for boost the clean. But simple stuff and it works, and you know, we don't have any roadies, so I can put the double guitar back on my back and then cabinet in one hand, pedal board in the other. I'm in here.
Yeah.
What is it? 2 leads connecting. Yeah. Electricity and the cabinet. Yeah. And the guitar lead.
That's it.
Life is good.
Life is good. Okay. I'm checking out the preset. So where do we start? Shall we go with the...
No, this is the clean channel.
Yeah.
This one is the Pico Pre, the Ecoplex preamp is on now. Now take it off, so it's much... This is the yellow comp that we both love so much. It's not clean, but it's what I like.
Yeah. And then if you don't go to trend,
then if you go, this is the...
This one
is the vintage channel, like regular Strat rhythm.
Yeah. Cool. The aria is cool.
The classic channel. This is my dirty rhythm. Vibe on.
Yeah.
My favorite sound.
Yeah.
And then that's also LA clean.
LA
clean.
On
the 4th position.
Yeah. Compressor and that shimmer. And on the button there's the blue box and you have the other 2 pedals.
Yeah, there's the blue box and then there's the Pico the preamp, which is the size of a matchbox, and then there's your
Sweet Leo by X5.
Yeah, that's on. I haven't used it now, but I use that sometimes for extra boost.
Hey, so
when I want to go a little bit louder than you.
crank it up. Okie doke. So, Ben's pedalboard of this tour. Yeah, here's my sweet Leo. Basically, it's a low gain pedal that has two options, inspired a little bit by Dumble and maybe a Fender, my Fender, what is it, the Tweed Deluxe. And this you can dial in here on the growl control. Ben uses it as a pedal that turns your Strat into a Les Paul type thickness. Yeah, I've been doing this as well. So it doesn't give you tons of overdrive. It just gives you a thicker signal. Yeah. So that's the gear that we were using. The other interesting aspect of this band is how to play in harmony or how to arrange two guitars. And of course, Ben has a long history of doing that because he was playing in Wishbone Ash with Andy Powell, and I don't know, from several years. And these guys, I'm talking about Wishbone Ash, they kind of invented the whole thing. Afterwards, Iron Maiden and a lot of other players or bands picked up the idea of having harmony guitars and how to deal with the voicings, with the lines and stuff like that. There's a little interview that I have done with Ben where we both talk about it, and we show you a couple of the lines that we are using in our Blug Granfelt Engelien CD Stratosphere. Yeah, check that out. Hey Ben, so what's the secret about, well, the harmony guitar?
Well, I can tell you apparently how it started, because I was lucky to be with Wishbone Ash for a long time, and Andy Powell told me that when they were practicing, like really before they had even a record deal or something, he was trying to tell Ted Turner that, hey, I play. Yeah. And Ted missed a string, so that was how it came, and they had no rules, so they knew nothing about that. It must harmony, be a third, or it must be a, you know, it could be a fifth or a sixth, whatever, and that's why Wishbone Ash is so
different,
original. Yeah. So then after that, you know, if you ask the guy from, you can read it with Iron Maiden, for instance, they were very influenced by Wishbone Ash. Sure. And I'm sure that Thin Lizzy also in a way, but Thin Lizzy were kind of pop, you know, compared to Wishbone Ash. Yeah. But for me, it's, you know, the first real band I was in, Gringos Locos, we had some harmonies, but not many. Yeah. And I, from the beginning, when we, you know, we spoke about playing together, I thought, I wanted to be kind of like Wishbone Ash-y, but not the same thing. We are more pop.
Yeah, and of course, with lots of the respect for Wishbone Ash starting the whole thing, and we kind of carry a little bit of that. We still are different because first of all, we are two Strat guys. Second of all, we all have our individual spots, and so it's different music. But like big kudos to Wishbone Ash and the harmony guitar, and of course, we also might have different tastes for the choice of notes. Yeah.
And if you think about it, the bands we mentioned, or I mentioned, they're all British bands. But I mean, America had Allman Brothers, and a lot of other bands who had the same thing. But I would think that one of the really first ones to bring it out in songwriting all the time was Wishbone Ash. But for us, you know, when we play, for instance, Ride Out the Storm, I mean, I came up with a melody, and Jesus, how do we put a harmony on top of this? But
let's try to play it first. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So this is pretty straightforward. Yeah. And quite easy, but if we, like the solo in the song, that was my demo solo. I thought, maybe we could put a harmony on top of that, and that was really the first take of a solo, and it turned out pretty cool like this.
Let's play it. 3, 4. And
beautiful.
yeah.
And this is, you know, quite interesting that, like, this part was, this basically was a solo, and then I was
Harmonizing.
yeah, wait a minute, you can play a harmony on top of that. It was melodic enough.
Yeah.
And that's why it's nice, because the phrasing is a little bit out from the normal rhythm, and that's what I think is quite important, that you don't do thirds and you go every note is on
It's
the beat.
the same, yeah. Then this is like, it still needs to sing in a way, like a vocalist would phrase differently, otherwise it's getting boring. But I think the people enjoy this when the two notes melt together. I mean, when we are really in sync.
We enjoy it too, when they do melt together.
Yeah, which is, it is something to strive for. I mean, we know what we want, and sometimes it is spot on and sometimes it's okay-ish.
But it's beginning to be quite spot on all the time. What is this, the 7th gig?
Yeah, it's
7th gig, yeah. So
probably,
so it's
we are in week 2.
You can see us smiling on stage.
Yeah, and this is it comes with practice, also playing together on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, anything you prepare at home is one thing, but once you really play, the whole band. This is what we talked the other days, with Tommy on drums. Now the band being on tour, everybody melts into the other.
Yeah, and also, like, you and I have a different way of phrasing and different kind of vibrato, but we both come together to meet, so we kind of, instead of me doing maybe like this and you do a little bit faster, now
we found a way.
Yeah, now we are like this, like two fish swimming together in the water.
and there's no really rules. It's just because I listen to you, you listen to me, and we kind of react to, and it's getting better every gig.
Yeah, and it's not only like the one we just play. I mean, there's small harmonies in everything, like the Bondrix riff, the basic guitar riff is a
3, 4.
Yeah, but then we harmonize on the riff too.
Yeah.
And that, by the way, has the chorus melody.
Yeah.
Also kind of weird chords that I came up with, but that harmony, that melody was from one of you played a lick that was probably part of us just jamming along and say, hey,
this is
that's
magic.
That's what we got to harmonize.
This is the magic, yeah.
And
by the way, I came with a rough idea, and then you came with this second part. I mean, this is the first.
Those.
And then when we go to this, and this is a typical Granfeld move. And this is so you.
Yeah, I think so. I use a lot of these chords with the bass note, and then
and change from the 4 chord to the 1 chord with the same bass note. But that makes sense. Or, for instance, I remember the part where we had the which is one of the.
Yeah, well, you had the chord progression, and I started playing. And so on.
Yeah.
But
minor, and then this. And
I have no idea what they are. I just hope I hit the right. Hope I smile all the way through.
Yeah. But there's one thing I think we had a creative moment. This is, and then I came up with this. I have no idea in music theory why this would fit. I just heard it. It needs to be strange, different, and this is the chord. Like, put all your fingers somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know half of the name of the chords that I play. Let's play the melody, or the chorus melody, because that has a wide jump. And I remember one Finnish friend of mine, Vesa Kääpä, he heard that song and said, yes, only you two guys could play that, nobody else could do it. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ah, okay. 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that's a really cool melody to play.
Absolutely. And it's so melodic, and then it's so heavenly because it's so high.
And it has a weird jump for me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I hope you guys can hear because we are not plugged in. It's unplugged.
It's sometimes it's very cool to play like this too without any amps. And then
by the way, I have to ask you, when you play this, do you have this kind of, do you play on the neck or the bridge pickup?
Neck.
Yeah.
Neck.
The higher I go, I tend to switch to neck, and the lower I go, I tend to switch to bridge. To keep it brighter, and when you go higher, it's high, but it needs to melt a little bit more.
You compensate with
and if you have two Strats both on the bridge pickup, it can be a little bit
harsh. And then there's this other song, the outro we always play, Last Day of Summer, which I came up with this melody.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and it's so weird because also the phrasing of this one line and you come up with it not playing exactly the same, and that makes it super interesting.
Yeah, this is just when I said not following that it's always a third.
Yeah.
So I have no idea that it just it's always question. It sounds right.
It sounds right, and then you have to make voice leading in the way that it's
pleasant to the ear.
Pleasant the ear, yeah. And of course there is a theory you can try the third, but don't get stuck there.
It's not the rule. You can go outside, and you should.
Yeah, you should.
And going back to my time with Wishbone Ash, I remember the song Almighty Blues that we also play. Yeah. And it didn't have any harmonies in the beginning or in the middle or anything. And then I played an end solo. Yeah. And I was halfway through and I said, stop.
That's it.
What did you go back? The first lick. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the theme of the song. And he came up with the based on one thing that I was solo, and he said that's the theme of the. Same with Faith, Hope, and Love. Yeah. That lick, that 1, 2, 3, 2. That also came from my solo, and he said, no, we put that as a harmony. And
that's the hook.
Yeah, and he said, that's the little hook that we need, and he was very, very good at doing that. Yeah. And sometimes he threw some riffs at me and said, how the hell am I going to play a harmony on that? Oh, you do it like this. And I was like, can you do it like that? And then we played it. It worked.
It works.
It's like the, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is very Wishbone in my opinion, but hey, it works.
and there's one of my licks that we harmonize in the okay.
Actually, I think it was I who came up with doing that lick. You had the chord progression. I came up with and then when we recorded, I had to figure out this way I can play it. Then you said no, it goes. I want to play it like this, and I had to learn that finger.
Yeah.
But we can do that. Yeah.
Wait. Okay. No. Ding ding dong dong 3 4.
Yeah. I have to sit like this because I'm almost falling off the chair. But
similar here.
Yeah.
But
this is again, it's when we sit in the studio and we brainstorm with everything. there's bound to come out something that is great. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't work that we tried.
Of course,
this doesn't work.
But it needs.
Then you know immediately. Hey,
Yeah,
this is it.
This is magic.
Yeah.
We keep that, and you have to be open and let things happen, try things, and
you have to listen. Listen is very important. But you know, we're in a really lucky position because you have your own band where you play the only guitar player, and you can do freely what you do, and I have my own band where I play freely what I do, and I can jam. But the beauty is that when this works, when we two play together, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, and that's great to have this opportunity to do it.
And especially also on rhythm guitar. Sometimes, I mean, you know, like fast car. Need for Speed.
Yeah.
Okay, and then when we go for like the verse, 1, 2, 3.
And this is again shows because I chose to play as little as possible because I have to sing on it. Yeah.
Sure.
But it leaves a lot of more space for me to concentrate on the singing.
Yeah, and I can do a little bit rhythmic thing that matches the vocals and that doesn't interfere too much and builds it up, and you know that's so we never play exactly the same chords.
Yeah. And also the fact that we have different sounds. You know, we don't have the crunch sound all the way through. We change levels, pick up positions, and you know I like to use the Aryan chorus for this kind of more police or edgy police
and
sound.
I don't even have a chorus.
No, you have your warbly delay. But that's what makes it
interesting,
you know, and beautiful, which makes it work. And all this can be found on the album Stratosphere by Blug, Granfelt,
Engelien in the background, and Tommy Fischer. Yeah. So anyway, guys, I hope you get inspired a little bit by that and check out our record because we are proud of it.
Exactly.
And if you have the chance and can see us live when we are touring, come and see us.
And come and say hi.
Yeah. That's always a good thing.
We always talk gear. There are no girls to talk to. There's always just what kind of strings, which button do you press here?
Okie dokes.
Ciao.
Cheers.
Yeah, besides the insights into what we are playing, I want to give you a little bit about the insights, what's happening on and off stage. This is Guitar and Bass magazine, the German magazine, and they have the tour page with all the artists touring Germany. And we can see Joe Bonamassa is here, and we are actually right on top, which is nice. There's Henrik Freischlader, another great German guitar player. Where are we? Here at the bottom. Danny Bryant, UK guy that I met. Andreas Kümmert, maybe remember last year when I played with him when he was guesting at the Rock Anarchy. So then Helmut Hattler of Kran. It's a bass player, unbelievable guy that goes back decades. I remember when I was a teenager watching his band Kran, krautrock meets something. Very unique style, very unique persons. Lynyrd Skynyrd, Orianti, we all know her. Brösel Machine, another German band. And Sketch Y Band, so this is all about the guitar players touring Germany. Yeah, I'm using this page so I can give you a quick insight in what happened every day because I forget about it. So we all met in Krefeld Jazz Keller, which is a very, very, very old club. Krefeld Jazz Keller, it used to be jazz, yes, but even bands like Kraftwerk, we all know Autobahn by Kraftwerk and Das Model, You know, this time mortal und sie sieht gut aus. Du, 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 du. Killer songs from the electronica side of Germany. They all played there. Yeah. Yeah, that's me with my AMPX and same entrance of the Krefelder Jazz Keller. I did an interview with Bernhard Bosil, who is running the Jazz Keller, about the situation of the clubs, because I had him here on the Academy of Tone sending out a message that it's really critical and that's getting tough, and that if it goes on like that, the clubs are dying. And he was very proactive. He came up with a lot of great ideas to draw in new people, but that's coming later. So we started there, had a quick rehearsal and played the Jazz Keller Krefeld. Next day we went to Rees, Bonner Resa, and this is the club where they had the 10th anniversary of their club. And of course, we got the best cake in the world. That's the good thing about being on tour. If it's special, there is special people, there is special food. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Then we played in Hahn, the open air festival. We played, I think, was it Friday or Saturday, and the day after, Henrik Freischlader was playing the same stage. I do have a little clip of this stage here on my phone. Yeah, that's me. But anyway, you see the crowd. You know, that's me playing and filming at the same time. Yeah, but this was nice because playing outside, we had beautiful weather. Touring in May is a risky thing, especially if you are playing indoors in the clubs, which we did on beautiful days, because people enjoy to have their barbecues outside and not going to the clubs. So that's another thing. When to tour, we decided it's better to go in November and not to do it in May again. Although we had a lot of great gigs, but we had a few, and that's something we learned from this tour. Okay, what was the next one? Was Münster-Jovel. Münster, yeah, in the middle or kind of north in Germany. It's run by Steffi Stephan, the bass player of Udo Lindenberg, and I think that day it was Udo's birthday, so he was not there, his son was there. And I had, of course, nice people visiting me. This is Gregor Hilden, who actually lives in Münster, so he came by, said hi, we had a nice chat. I have actually done a tour with Gregor Hilden and Jerry Donahue 10 years ago. Like 3 guitar players, different styles, Tele, Strat and Les Paul. Gregor is a tone nerd when it comes to Les Pauls, Fender M's. That's more or less his game. He used to have a 59 Les Paul and a Dumble amplifier. Sold both of it to get some cash, which he did, but we talked about the whole thing that he refused, that he sold his Dumble for like 30,000 euros, and now he could have 100,000 more. Unfortunately, nobody could tell that 30,000 is not enough for such a amp. Yeah, anyway, this was Münster in the Jovel. Then we played Cologne Quattro Cultura. I think I have a picture, yeah, of this fan. It's super. He comes everywhere, and he's always wearing a BluGuitar shirt. So we have to do our, we have to do the picture together. This is it's a ritual to do the BluGuitar shirt picture every gig. He comes with his wife. And I also met Christian Tolle, you know, some guy who writes for Guitar and Bass and magazines at this gig. So then we went, we went all the way down to Switzerland from Cologne. This was a very, very long drive. We came, from Cologne, and after the gig we were kind of driving half the way. We're sleeping in Mannheim in a hotel, and then moving on down to the Alps, as we can see, which is also nice. And Martin is our bus driver, tour manager, and Mr. Everything. Very comfortable to work with Martin. Martin is loyal. Martin is the most punctual man on this planet. Ben is sometimes a little early, but Martin is, you can simply rely on what he's doing. And the reason for that, he told me, is quite simple, because when he was playing in Klaus Lage Band, they had a rule. Every minute somebody comes late, he has to pay a Deutschmark or a Euro, whatever. And if you're 15 minutes late, you pay 15. At the end of the tour, there was a lot of budget, and everybody was joining the party that they have done on the budget from all the people being late. So it's a good way to educate yourself to be on time. That's things you can learn from touring pros like Martin Engelien. Okay, I think we have a snippet video of the Kopfmehl when I arrived there, because there was Marcel Schläfli and some other guys coming, and this venue is killer because it has such a nice backstage area with actually a dig collection. So most artists have to do a painting and do a story. Let's watch this little video. I think it's worth watching. Shake hands und dann bin ich weg.
Hallo Thomas.
Hi.
Thomas.
Hey. Alles gut. Wir quatschen gleich, ne?
Alles gut.
Okay. Ja, hier, die üblichen Verdächtigen. The usual ones. So. So, das ist Kopfmehl. Türe zu. Yeah, so. And I show you the stage, the small stage. Yeah. Marcel. Yeah. Strat. And this is the club. Yeah, very nice. So let's go upstairs, because backstage is kind of special place. Tons of stickers from hundreds and thousands of bands, and more and more and more. So, and this is the most important thing for me, dress up with stage shoes. So let me show you what's going on. Upstairs. Endless, but so great, okay? Oh, here's something kind of special. The Dig Show, Dig Art. Yeah, so you can be an artist. Okay. Yeah, backstage. Don't forget this one. I like that
TV with the metal casters. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So this is backstage 1, and then we are at the place where backstage 2, and this is the chilling band. Chilling, drinking, eating. Yeah, and here we are. Yeah. See, this is the cameraman. And more offices and more food. Nice. Swiss cheese. Yeah. What a place. Very nice place. Yeah, this was solo touring in Switzerland on the Blue Monday. What I liked a lot is this venue educated the audience that there is Monday concerts, because when you are on tour, Monday is not a good day for having a concert. Who goes out on the Monday night? But this place is specialized in doing Blue Mondays. And so it was well packed, it was great atmosphere, very good audience, very good. Thank you, Switzerland. We drill some more holes in your cheese when we come back. Yeah, then the next day we went up back to Germany, Erlenbach, Beavers, another place where I was playing before with Uwe Ochsenknecht, the German actor. Yeah, and it has a lot of nice memorials out there. And I met Gundi Keller. We have met him at the Academy of Tone, I think twice already. Yeah, he's from this area. Aschaffenburg is kind of nearby, maybe 15 minutes drive. So Erlenbach was that stage. Beavers. Okay, the next day we went over to Bavaria, to Straubing. The Raven was the club, and I met some BluGuitar fans that we had at the Guitar Summit, and yeah, they are a young metal band, and we had a nice hang, talked a little bit. Again, the audience was very nice because it was very mixed, young people, older people, every age. And I really enjoyed that gig because people were really listening to us. Yeah, the Raven. Then we went to Austria. Enns is the village town. Enns, is it big? It's close to Linz, Austria, in the Zuckerfabrik, which is again a very cool venue. Yeah, and I met Alex Zielinski, another guy that uses AMP1, great guitar player. Yeah, it was nice to meet him. Yeah, we had, well, unfortunately he lives that far away from Saarbrücken, so we had a chance at least to meet in person and to make this photo, but it's way too far for a visit. I don't know how long you would drive. I think 8 hours or 6 hours at least if you make no stops. Yeah, this was our gig at the Zuckerfabrik, and then we ended the tour in Harbach, which is kind of close to Munich. It is a very traditional club, the Village in Harbach. It's like an old water mill, and
everybody's playing there. So, you know, we are talking Karl Verheyen, we are talking Freischlader, we are talking... I played there with the Rock Anarchy. People remember that. And I remember that gig was fantastic with a different drummer, with Moritz Müller on drums. And Moritz had the best day ever in this band. And I'm a fan of Moritz because if he is great, there's nothing like this guy. But the day after, on this tour, when we played there 5 years ago, or whenever this was, he lost his wallet, and he was not playing like Moritz Müller. He was not even there, even he was there. So I remember the gig at this with Harbach Club, and Josh Smith, you know, the guitar player that is Joe Bonamassa's second guitar player in the band, which doesn't mean that he's maybe better than anybody else, doing his thing. As Ben says, I'm the best German guitar player in the band, and he is the best Finnish guitar player in the band. And I'm not sure who is the best American guitar player in Joe Bonamassa's band. No, Joe Bonamassa is killer, but actually Josh Smith is killer. And he was playing this little venue the day after us. Yeah, so this was all the great kind of places we have seen. And there's something that we discussed after this tour is how is it actually working these days, making or touring in 2025. And it's not getting easier because back in the old days, you know, there was a routine of the clubs, and then with COVID, everything was gone, and then it was rebuilding. Some places had more people, other places disappeared. COVID changed a lot in the club scene. And I had a nice conversation about the club situation with Bernhard Bosil, who is actually the owner and manages the jazz Keller Krefeld. And he was also here when he had a hard time last year, where he said, you know, I'm probably have to stop it because I'm losing too much money, and I have to think about what to do. Original music like we do is a tough gig. You know, tribute bands is a different game, and you know, then there's jazz is even harder. But Bernhard came up with very positive news. He really sat down, thought about what's going on and how to bring in fresh new people in those old venues. And the problem is, if you bring in new and younger audience, what draws them in? And is this like the place, oh, this is for the retired people, they listen, the old farts listening to blues music club or jazz even, and how to get in fresh people. So that's a big challenge, how to do things that actually work in these clubs. Check out my interview with Bernhard Bosil about how to get fresh audience into old clubs. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are here in Krefeld, the famous Jazz Keller. A historic place, and it's still alive and kicking. But we were talking about the club scene in general, and especially what's happening in the Jazz Keller Krefeld at your place here.
Yeah.
So Bernhard Bosil, who runs the place, This is kind of a follow-up on the discussion we had like half a year ago.
Half a year, yeah, quite exactly half a year ago.
Yeah, so what did happen in the meantime?
Yeah, in general I can say things are going up.
Super.
So positive news. I can say this for our club.
Yeah.
For the scene in general, I see and hear from friends who have other clubs, it is really difficult.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the bad times are over. I still think that we have to fight, and we have to get new ideas to get the people in the club, to get younger and fresh audience. And it's not so easy, but we had some ideas, and so things are going good.
Okay. So what are the new things you have been trying to get a different audience or a younger audience into the club? What is the new format? I mean, you still do us because we are here, Blug, Granfelt Engelien, so the good old traditional live musicians, old school, presenting their new album, are still here, which is good, I think, for both of us.
Yeah.
And we expect to be this a good evening, even though the weather is our enemy today. We have such a beautiful weather here in Germany today, but it will be fine. I'm pretty positive.
It will be a good night.
Yeah. But what did you do as a fresh idea to get the attention of younger audience?
Yeah, the most important thing is, for me, it was to get fresh new audience. And how to get them. A lot of people don't know that there is a club who's making live music. Also in this city, we have about 270,000 people here living in this town, in Krefeld. And until today, there are people who don't know this place, even that he's almost 70 years old. It's crazy, but it is so.
Yeah.
And the video I made in November, and I wrote an article and interview with you. It went very viral.
Yeah.
And people tried and came to this club and said, what's this going on here? What's this place? And it was totally new audience.
Peoples,
totally new peoples who never were here before.
Okay.
And what we did, for example, one of the ideas, we have a lot of ideas, and I said, okay, now we have to shoot with all guns we have and to fight against this. One of the idea is, this was a little bit critical scene in the scene, we have a test hearing. So the audience can come. Sometimes it is so, you get a description of a band and you don't know exactly what they are playing. You know, they write some text and you make a commercial on homepage everywhere, and it is difficult to understand what they are playing really. And we refreshed our homepage, we make YouTube links, social media, everything, and we say, okay, if you still don't know what this band is doing, you can come to the club. And if you say, okay, I don't want to pay 18 euros if I don't know if I like it, you can come and you have the chance to listen to one, maximum 2 songs.
And then decide.
Maximum, And after 10 minutes you have to decide. Okay, it's cool, I stay, you pay the entry. And if you say, it's not my thing,
style,
you can leave, you pay your drink, and everything is fine.
Okay.
10 minutes maximum time.
And this works.
And it works. It's not so much, but every
little thing helps. It's a critical.
And every person counts. Every guest is important.
It's important.
And we have a success of 90%.
Okay, good.
So if I say 100 people came to test it, 90 people stayed and say,
Okay.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I could not imagine that this is that kind of sound,
Super.
because the description was
Yeah.
a little bit...
I mean, it's so hard. I mean, this is why there are so many tribute bands these days, because people know what they expect. You go for AC/DC and Police and whatever, so you know what to expect. But if you have some original music or some different kind of things, how to decide if you like it or not.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very clever idea. And
you
kudos.
can do it in only such small clubs, because then you can see how long the people stay. And I have a good system. I can mark it on the card which they get when they get in, and then I know exactly how long they stayed.
Yeah.
And it's very good. It's cool, because sometimes it's written we play funk, fusion, jazz, blues,
Rock metal.
And then the people say, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
And then they come, they listen to songs, 10 minutes,
Yeah.
drink a beer,
Yeah.
and then they decide. And 90%
We're staying.
were staying.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
This is one of the ideas I had.
And I know you are very keen on developing fresh ideas, and because you had to.
Yeah.
Because there was no future going down the old, worn-out road. You know, this was kind of.
It was going down and down and down.
Yeah. So there you have to change, you have to adapt, you have to start fresh. So for your club, you're positive. You think you can keep it. I mean, it's probably not.
I'm very positive now, and the last half year was really good. I had no panic about December. I made the message in November, and the December is always a good month.
Yeah, because people want to go in.
It's Christmas time. The people go out. Everything was good, but the December was so good, like the last 15 years not.
Oh, good.
And normally January, February, March are the baddest months you have in the year at the beginning, because all have to pay energy.
The bills.
The bills. All the bills come at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And we had the first 3 months, the best 3 months, also the last 16 years.
Wow. Cool.
So I'm very positive because of a lot of ideas I make. We have now a fan shop of the Jazz Cellar. We had this not before. We have shirts. We made our own limited gin. We make a calendar at the end of the year for the whole year with all the acts that were in the last year here. These are small things.
But I think it all pays down to the road of making fans.
Yeah,
fans of the club.
Exactly.
So if the band are not making the fans themselves, you have to make these people fans of the Jazz Cellar Krefeld or the club. And I think this is what was by nature in the good old days, because there were only a few clubs. And this is, okay, people went there by nature. And now with all the internet, online and whatever concerts and so many options there are, people forget about that. And so you have to come back to do the old, school thing, connect to the people by making them fans for the venue. And I can, that's, for me, that sums up the basic idea a lot, because I remember how cool it was to go to a club when I was a teenager. You were a fan already because it was cool. You know,
exactly.
And times have changed so much that you have to get back that kind of energy.
And you have to get back new fans. Really, what I said at the beginning, new people, new fans for live music, for the live scene. You have to win them, that they come to the club. And one of our biggest success was the idea to get groups here into the club. And this exploded. And this is great. We have now, these are groups. It's all in the internet. You have Portale, where people who are traveling for business around Germany, around the world, and you can sign up there. It costs nothing, and then you can say what is going on in the town. And these people are alone because traveling or whatever, or they live alone or whatever. and they say, I don't want to go alone in a club,
Yeah.
but I'm interested.
Yeah.
And then they say, okay, there's a concert in Krefeld in Jazz Keller, and who wants to come with me?
And then
I
they
don't
can
want to
put-
go alone. And then you have groups, and we had it at the Go Music from
Yeah.
Martin Engelien,
Yeah.
Andy Pilger, Funky Friday. And these groups started also in December, January, and they started with 10 people, 12 people, and it exploded so much that we have
Not the capacity.
35 people
Yeah.
only from one group that are coming for one concert here.
Yeah.
And these are 35 people that were never here.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
They didn't know this place
Yeah.
even. And they don't know what they... but they say,
Expect.
yeah.
It's cool.
And
Yeah.
they say, yeah, but I have a free night, a free day,
Yeah.
and I want to listen to some music, and maybe I want to meet some nice friends. And they meet here, and the only thing what they want is they say, can you give us a table where we put a sign that this is our meeting point,
Yeah.
so that the people know,
Here's the guys.
because they also don't know each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they meet here, and it's
They have fun.
They have fun.
and they enjoy.
and they are because of the music here.
Yeah.
Because these groups are for everything. For sports,
Okay.
if people are interested for a soccer match or to make some sport, they can also meet.
Yeah.
And one person started in December and said, who is interested to go to a concert? And all the people who are interested in music said, okay, I'm coming,
Yeah,
I'm coming.
let's check it out.
And he just informed me, okay, we are coming with 15 people.
Yeah. Nice.
And in January, February, March, it
Growing,
gets
growing.
bigger,
Yeah,
bigger
yeah,
and bigger.
yeah.
And for all kinds of live music, for blues, for jazz,
Yeah.
for funk, for soul. And all people who are interested are coming. And this was a really great, great idea.
See, guys, so I'm very excited to know people that have fresh ideas that still are fighting for the industry that you are in, that I also am a part of, because I believe, first of all, live music has a quality that cannot be replaced with anything else.
No.
I mean, you can watch the thing online, but it's a different experience to be here.
You
with-
never get the feeling online.
Never. I mean, live music is live music. And in a cool place like this, it's even better. And I'm so, thankful to hear that after this very heavy times, you succeeded with something. I'm hoping this will continue in a way, and maybe this can be something that inspires other venues as well. I know a few of those venues will kind of die by nature because some of the owners are too old and they don't have the energy. Understandable. It's a pity for the scene.
Yeah.
Maybe some young guys pick up on this idea, but I'm so glad to hear that with all the emotions that were in the room that were kind of critical at a certain
it was.
Yeah,
It was very critical.
now turned into something good, which gives us hope and that keeps your place going.
Yeah, I was watching. I told, okay, this year is safe. I will do this year 100%.
Yeah.
But something has to change.
Yeah,
and now we are on a good way. On a good
Okay.
way. And I hear from all other clubs here around.
It's difficult.
It's really hard. It's really difficult, and I hear it from the others that they are really, really fighting. Really fighting, and it's not so easy. We are not over the hill.
Okay, so we have to make another episode in a year's time to see how it actually works.
Yeah.
Now, hey, Bernhard, thank you so much.
You're
Big
welcome.
pleasure. Cheers, guys. And go to Jazz Keller Krefeld. Cool
Long
place.
live live music.
Yep. So guys, now we know what's at stake at the clubs and we have some solutions. I'm reading the live chat comments. Hardy O says, okay, what about a live episode of RT? This is live. I can prove it. I can do things that you can ask me to do. And I will do something like, I can show you my mobile phone with The time. Where is it? There is, wait a minute, this is, 20, nobody sees it. Fucking hell. Yeah, you have seen it? Okay, 22:01. See? So, is this live and the date? So, that's live. Or I can read this beautiful magazine of guitar and bass and look at the pages and see a nice dumble amplifier, and I see Christian Tolle and stuff like that. I can, this is live. I can bore in my ass, or whatever you like. We believe you, 22:01. Yes, okay, transparent. Mr. Transparent, I made it transparent. The other comment I was reading here is about AMPX. Blank nobody, but can AMPX do the vintage sound of the AMP1? Yes, it can. So this is the AMPX. See here, I'm plugged in here. Slightly different setting here, but also different reverb, but so yeah, there is AMP1 in AMPX. This is what we just heard. I do have a different reverb here because I don't have the identical reverb from the AMP1, which the AMP1 reverb is pretty good. There's nothing wrong about AMP1, but there's also nothing wrong about AMPX. So that's my comment for this. Meet in person AOT. One day, well, here's my option. There's a few events where we can meet because Guitar Summit is pretty central for all the Germans. Mannheim, this is September. So that's a meet and greet, and maybe we do a live. But when we do the live stream, the building is closed, so I can't have the audience there. Maybe I do a clinic in a shop and do this as a live AOT. Eventually, the problem there is most of the clinics I do are in German, and then the rest of the world doesn't get anything. I could do this too one day. There are some options. Okay, I see all the comments about what works on the club scene and how to get people in there. Cute girls, wherever they go, some other will follow. Cheap drinks usually work. Somebody says, can you please listen to my band? I use the Iridium Live. Sure. Give us the name of your band so we can follow you. Geo Sundance. Can AMPX do the original pod sounds? Well, not yet. I'm not sure if I want that. It can do pretty much, and you will get some info about what the AMPX is doing during this year, because I'm about to finalize the whole thing. Yeah, now it's time to talk about Ben's new album. I just unpack it so we can have a nice view on Ben Granfelt's new album, It's Personal, with his 63 Stratocaster in a chair. He has a fetish when it comes to Strats in chairs. We have done a similar thing on the Blue Granfelt Engelien album, which I also have to unpack. Struts in chairs, here we go. Can we see this? Okay, here we go. Yeah, Struts in chairs, Strat in chair. Okay, yeah, back to Ben's album. It's a double CD, and there's also a double vinyl. And yeah, check it out. I was listening to only bits and pieces out there, and of course it's a great album, and it features some live tracks, and it features some new studio material of Ben, the chair orchestra. That, yeah, Stratocaster, chair orchestra, yeah, there's something about that. Anyway, guys, please watch our or my little interview with Ben about his latest release, which we will see on the 30th, which is, this is live in 2 days, as we have the 28th today. Is this correct? Let me double check. Yeah, this is Wednesday 28th. So in 2 days, this album is available on all the usual platforms and on actually Martin's record label, A1 Records, which it's the same as here. See, 2 different CDs, same label. Bingo, bingo. Whoops, and there's a BluGuitar logo and things like that. Yeah. Yeah, check out the album, check out my interview with Ben where we talk about his album and he talks about details on the album. And we will be back here next week, same time, same place, again live. Okay, as much as I can do live, I really do enjoy doing it live. When I'm on tour, I'm on stage, and I don't want to show you the same concert every Wednesday when I play 2 weeks. You should come there, and then it's live. And for the other guys watching the live stream, sometimes I have to pre-record things because I'm still real and I'm still live and I can't double myself. I'm not not yet my own digital clone. I hope you enjoyed this one, the Strato chair. Okay, people get creative. I love that. We need a new title for the next album. And since we do double Strat magic, come up with some great ideas. This would be something for us. Okay, I have band practice. Hey guys, you have a very luxury life. Practice is something, we had only one practice for the whole tour because we needed to get our twin guitars in sync, and of course used it also to make a few arrangement tweaks here and there. But on the other hand, practicing can be a luxury, especially when you have an international band with members that have to fly in. Every day costs money in hotels, and if you're not playing live, then it costs money. and yeah. So profile productions, enjoy your band practice. I think that's a luxury. With my band Rock Anarchy, we never practice. If we practice, we give up because it's anarchy. And that's the way how to get around practicing. We practice on stage and you can watch it if you pay for it. Okay. Axel Rudi Pell has no practice. Well, why should he? I mean, he's doing this thing, his game for ages, for years. Okay. He's playing on the 7th. Yeah, that's next week. Anyway, see you guys next week. And please, the 12-string Strat. We had a title on some old, which was 12-4-2. It's like 12 guitar strings, 4 bass strings, and 2 drumsticks. But that's too complicated. Nobody got it. It's like, what the fuck are they? Are they math people now? You know, there are sometimes on the internet you have those kind of IQ tests. How stupid are you? 12-4-2. What do they really mean? Okay, by 4 divided by 13 times 3 makes a magic number. Level 42. The answer is 42 of everything. So, yeah, why not switching to Les Paul? I tell you why, because they are too heavy. When we do the next tour with Les Pauls, it's a different thing. We all get back pain and yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Les Paul, but somehow I think we stick with the Strats. If we would do the 5th album, maybe we need a change. But and the Telecaster, yeah. But that's the thing that I have done with Gregor Hilden and Jerry Donahue. This was like Tele Les Paul Strat. I was the Strat guy and Jerry was the Tele guy. And he's maybe the best, or one of the best Tele guys. Unbelievable. So we have options. Name it Iridium, yeah. Parallel Stratosphere. That's something. Parallel and serial, we can dial in here. This, we all have to play on parallel, and it's a must. There's no way around it, only parallel effects. Okay, last question here. Hey Thomas, can you tell us again how your speaker emulation for recording has evolved from the Blue Box, and if no physical load is needed in AMPX? Okay, the Blue Box, as we could hear, is basically in the AMPX as well. On the real Blue Box, I still have, I can play it without a load, but I actually do have a load plugged in here. So this is coming from the AMP1, and this is the real Marshall cabinet as a load. And on AMPX, there's no cabinet connected. But the cabinet is again sounding exactly, pretty much the same. Well, when I've totally finished, it sounds exactly the same like AMP1 when I have my whatever AMP1 sound chosen on the AMPX. And the simulation on the direct out on the XLR here, I make a special episode on these things when I really can show you things, what we have done on AMPX. But you can see where we are. We have the real deal tones without the real deal gear. And that is AMPX. And this is, again, why it takes so long, because I don't want to compromise, but I want to give you all the modern options and the modern convenience that the new guys on the block want. Like, hey, today we have heard the news that there is a new camper with even more power. And I will check this out, of course, because I'm genuinely interested in tone. And being in analog, digital, or tubes, whatnot, I'm always interested. And I'm just so convinced that the AMPX is outstanding quality, because my reference is in the background. My reference is here, and I'm not stopping before I get exactly what I want to achieve. And this Marshall, for instance, I think it's something yeah, for me, this is the end of a journey that I had. It is my fucking plexi in the AMPX, and it is. I will demo the AB things, and it's doing what I was always dreaming about: power amp saturation at 0 volume. Here, this is 0, no cabinet connected, direct out, 0 volume, bam. So I can dial it from any volume that I want, and it's really reacting with the speaker and all these fucking details. But not tonight. This will be the endless episode. I want you to check out this interview with the new Ben Granfelt, its personal record, and see you guys next week. And then I will talk more about AMPX in the future, because it's coming. Okay, and now this is the new album coming, Ben Granfelt, It's Personal. Enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Ben Granfelt.
Hello, Thomas.
Yeah.
How come you are here?
We have circumstances. We're playing this venue tonight, which is the Juvels in Münster.
Yeah.
But now I would like to talk about your latest release. And you are the master when it comes to releasing albums.
Yeah.
How many albums have you released under your name?
This will be number 21. It's a double vinyl and double CD. One side or one album is instrumental in the studio recorded, and the other one is live. Mm-hmm. And we have a saying in Finland that it rhymes in Finnish, but it's tehkää oma kustanne, niin saatte maistaa omaa kustanne, which roughly translated means pay for your own CD and taste your own shit.
So it's personal. That's the title. And is there a story about the album? I mean, we know your guitar, or at least I know your guitar.
Yeah.
And you like chairs, guitars and chairs.
I started taking pictures from my guitar. You can see here, my guitar in different hotel rooms in different chairs, and I started posting them. And then I just realized that I have a hell of a collection of these.
Yeah.
And we took one here from both of our guitars, which is on the Blue Granfelt Engelien album.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why it came up, I don't know. And then the artwork is a lot of my guitars in different forms here. But the title, It's Personal, came because the instrumental part, when I did the last album, Gratitude, which was kind of a tribute album to Gary Moore, Jeff Beck, and Robin Trower,
Right.
I didn't know what to do after that. I mean, I thought, okay, now the next one, is it a cover album? No, thank you. So I played a lot of guitar, and some fans said, you know, like, when are you going to make another instrumental album?
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe that's a good idea.
yeah, and then before I knew it, I had 4 or 5 songs written, and more was coming. And you know, I thought, okay, I'm gonna make the guitar album that I always wanted to do. Like, we record. This is cool. The way we record the rhythm tracks. This is a fantastic hall, Magnus Borg in Finland. Yeah, first fantastic hall for drums. Absolutely wonderful sound. And then we can sit here as a trio, you know, with good
eye contact.
Yeah, good headphone mix.
Ah, by the way, let's look. I mean, there's your Strat number 1, number 2.
Yeah.
There's AMP1 or
one
2.
pedalboard. No, that's actually this is a
headphone mixer. Yeah.
And Masa, my bass player, is using a Mesa Boogie amp straight to the board.
And this is the extra low-end microphone for the bass drum.
I'm a guitar player. I don't
I
get involved in that.
Yeah, but I know this is kind of cool to have an extra channel for this extended low end, which makes it sound really organic.
Yeah, and we were going for a bit more organic sound. I mean, I have songs that are. I want to have the AMP1s like Marshally overdriven sound, but then a lot of the clean tones are direct into the board, doubled with an Guild Songbird thin line acoustic guitar. I mean, yes, Mike Landau, Tales from the Bulge was an inspiration for me too. And then there's one song which I should have said it's almost dedicated to you, From a Whisper to a Roar.
Oh.
And that's the idea. It's the trio live,
and
I just use one channel, go from volume on 10 to volume on 2.
Yeah.
And that's everything there, which I learned from you. There are a couple of covers on the live part, Bridge of Sighs, and Cocaine and Breathe, which together are 20 minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a special atmosphere, these songs. And I think that's why it's worth doing your own interpretation of the songs.
Yes, of course. And like we play Cocaine, but we play it in completely different from what I do.
Yeah.
And the live part is just basically to show that we change the music around quite a lot. You know, there's longer solos, shorter solos, intros, outros, mid parts. You know, if I had like 27 concerts recorded. And I was listening, is this even the same song?
Yeah, but I mean, this is what makes it interesting to have fresh energy that you record. And, you know, when a performance is different every night, then you can...
That keeps you wanting to play again, because you know, what can I come up with tonight? And what the guys, you know, Jari, my drummer, and Masa, my bass player, they push me. Sometimes they go, no, they just laugh and they start doing some weird syncopated rhythms, and I just come up with something that I never thought of.
Yeah.
So,
and they check you if you still keep the beat.
Well, there's a general joke in the band that when I look a little bit like this, they go 1, 2, 3, because I lose 1.
Well, that can happen.
Yeah. But the main idea was like doing the instrumental album, and then that I would go to my studio and do the guitars there. And it's apart from one song, it's all AMP1, blue box, straight to the board.
What's your favorite cabinet?
I used 2 actually. I used is it the 70s?
Stack?
70s stack.
Yeah.
But then there are a couple of songs that are quite Jeff Becky, and then I used the 12, Tweed 12.
Ah, yeah. Okay, the Tweed 112.
Yeah, because that has a less low end, but more pronounced mid-range, like the Jeff Becky thing.
Yeah.
And actually, it's good if someone can figure out which one
is which speaker.
But also there's one song which is not AMP1. Because I did it before a show on my computer with plugins, and the next morning I woke up and did the whole lead guitar track.
Yeah.
and I don't think people will be able
to notice.
Yeah.
No, I think the whole thing about sound is, of course, as it sounds, and if it's in a range where it's okay, it's more about the feel. When you play
Yes, of
convincing,
course. Yeah.
it's convincing.
And I've learned now in recording that if possible I turn less gain almost every time.
Yeah,
I realized I don't need so much, because when you have a massive amount of gain, you lose the touch.
Yeah.
Your pick doesn't react the same way as if you have to sometimes hit harder and sometimes softer, as you know.
Yeah. And I think more gain sometimes helps you in a live situation when you don't have the volume.
Yes.
But
we don't have the problem, because everybody says we're too loud. Wherever we go,
too loud
can
guitar.
you take the guitar's a bit loud? But every time after the show, it was fantastic, great sound. So usually when you play in an empty hall at the volumes we play, everybody gets scared. I mean, I get scared.
It too, sure.
Yeah. But then I know that if there is what we call paying cushions that will absorb the sound, then it's okay.
Yeah. And it's not meant any kind of offensive. It's just from the experience that it works that way.
And also, like I saw an interview with Joe Bonamassa, said it's not a question about playing loud for loud's sake. It's because you have to have a balance. If you have a hard-hitting drummer, if your volume is under the kick and the snare,
it doesn't work.
You can't play.
No. Then it's a different kind of music. I mean, if you can play in a disco band with some funk rhythm that is maybe lower than the drums, but when you play lead, when your guitar has to speak and has to deliver a message, you have to have a certain dynamic and volume.
And if you don't have that, what I do is I overcompensate by hitting harder, and that means that I break strings.
Yeah. I've been there also with you many times.
Yeah.
And the other thing is you play differently. You play too much, like what I always do. But if the volume is right, then you are in the zone of making the speech in the right way.
We are in the middle of a tour, Granfelt Engelien Tour, and the second gig and the third gig, this is the fourth gig today, right? I was just in heaven. The guitar sounded so good. It was loud, but I'm pretty sure that no one was offended with the volume in the band. I mean,
it was fine.
And I heard you really well, loud and clear. But and yesterday too, when we had the outdoor thing, I was like, wow, we're playing 112 cabinets on a big stage, like today.
Yeah.
And
it works.
112 cabinet. People go, you're too loud. No.
And the thing is, I have not changed anything on my settings since the first gig in the small club Krefeld. I know that I'm loud, but I have not changed anything because it is matching to the rest, to the drums.
And you don't play. People misunderstand when they say, "Oh, you're so loud." Yes. If the song is this long, for this part when you play the solo. Or and if it's an instrumental song like you have some, then it goes like this and it goes higher. But it's not like when we play rhythm and all the band, then we hold back.
I roll down the volume, have less gain, and don't hit that hard for the rhythm part, so you have some space. And then of course when I do my solo parts, I crank what I've got, and we make our own mix within the band.
And that, my dear guitar player friends, takes time to learn. It is something that I remember when I started and I started touring, like with Gringos Logos. I was like, louder. But I don't know. You have to learn to pace yourself, pace the volume.
And especially during the whole show, dynamic is about not playing 100% all the time. I mean, Lemmy of Motorhead would have done that. That's a different genre of music. But what we are doing is we have all kind of levels from very low to loud and everything in between. And that is not a fatigue for the ears or the audience. And we work with that.
And also, like when you use the volume on your guitar, even when I play like rhythm sounds, I can still hear it very well. So I don't have to trash. I can pick softer. I can make the strings sound differently, and It reminds me of a funny thing, I played in Finland in a concert, and it was quite loud. And there was this guy, Lassi Ukkonen, I think his name is, amp guru, like Finland's Mr. Dumbo. Yeah. And he's like, he said, he's got this Hertz ear. He goes, that was fantastic, but on the Les Paul, your G string was too loud.
Okay, thank you for that.
That's when it gets to the nitpicking. That's not worth going there.
Yeah. Shortly back to the album, just what kind of different songs can you expect? What is the Crash Dummy? Is
that's when Jeff Beck passed, my wife bought a Jeff Beck Strat. Half for me and half for her, but she knew that I will be the one who uses it all the time.
Yeah.
And I was playing that, and there's a whammy bar riff that's kind of like down, so it's kind of a crash. So that's a very Jeff Becky song, the Crash Test Dummy. Cadillac Cruise is all about the groove and the melodic chorus, also very Jeff Becky. I don't use guitar pick on either of these songs. Ben's blues has very little to do with blues, because I'm always come up with some weird chords that doesn't have anything to do with blues. But
that's
it's my blues.
Okay, yeah.
And the Waltz is, this is actually, both Cadillac Cruise and the Waltz have the original demo solos, because I thought, I'm gonna sit there and I play till I have the perfect solo. That's wrong, you can't do that. You probably play the best between 1 and 3 takes. After that you start repeating and you're forcing yourself. So this has an acoustic guitar solo on it that was not meant to be there at all, but it sounded so good. The acoustic guitar, Finland is quite cold and quite warm and quite dry and whatnot, it changes very often, so the neck was a bit bowed on the acoustic guitar, so it's fretting out. But the notes and the playing and the feeling was perfect, so I left it in. Which meant that, like, I thought I'm gonna 1 month I'm gonna sit there and do different sound and do everything. I was done in a week. I was like, I'm done already. 8 Elephants. Well, this is the latest single which came out last week. So that's my proggiest song on this album.
Why 8 Elephants?
Because I was trying to remember the saying, like a bull in a China store. You know?
Yeah.
Is it a bull in the China store?
But I know der Elefant im Porzellanladen for the Germans.
But it's not 8 elephants. It's actually a bull in a China store. So I remember all the time elephants, and they said, "Oh, you're crazy." So for some reason, 8 elephants. I don't know where it came, but the guys thought it was funny. And this was a single, and it has a bass solo, guitar solo, and a drum solo. Very uncommercial.
Well, it needs to be on records.
A friend of mine said that, "Hey, Ben, it should be called It's Personal, Not Business."
But at least
it's personal.
The title track.
That's the most Mike Landau song on the album. It just, first I had like a very vintagey Fender combo sound with tremolo and everything, and then I ditched everything and put this ultra clean guitar sound with the raw Marshall on top. Gentle Giant, the title comes from I thought my bike was stolen outside of my rehearsal studio. And I was devastated. I ran around the block to see if he would find it. And then it turned out that the guy who had the shop next door saw that I had left it outside the rehearsal unlocked. So he put it in his shop.
Oh, nice.
And he was this giant guy. So I thought, and he said, "By the way, Ben, I have your bike here." So and I looked up to this Gentle Giant, so that came.
Nice.
And this is also like the AMP1's fantastic Marshall sound, going into this ultra clean with the acoustic guitar as well. And from a whisper to a roar should be dedicated to you, because that's the AMP1 classic channel, full on with the boost on, going with
down
quiet to loud, quiet to loud. And this was actually a riff that I was trying to get us to do something with BluGuitar Engelien.
And it ended up here.
It ended up here, and it's called Outro Jam because it was not ready. So I just said, let's try this. I got this riff here. It's a little bit different. I don't know if it goes to 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever it goes. And then there's some chords, and then there's a solo, and then it kind of ends. And I said, you can hear me shout, "Se on siinä, levy valmis," which means that's it. The record is done. And that was just a great way to end the whole thing with. So basically, you have 4 songs which are the trio
Yeah.
as we play live,
Yeah.
and the rest are more produced, have
Yeah.
different sounds and layers.
And the live recordings, have they been from Germany,
They're from Germany,
Finland,
and
or?
Finland.
Ah, okay,
both.
so whatever you had.
Yeah, I have in Weinstadt,
Yeah.
Armor Conrad Jazz Club, we recorded. I took Cocaine and Breathe, which together 20 minutes. That's the bass solos and guitar solos
Sure.
and noise and whatever. And Bridge of Sighs, I've always wanted to do that song. I love it. Since I don't know how long we're going to play it, I said, okay, it's different, let's put it on the album. Hey Stranger and Jeff Beck Reggae and My Soul to You are
Yeah,
my
it's
own
a classic.
songs. Yeah,
It's a
and
classic,
I have to put them there. But even, you know, My Soul to You is 7 minutes. When it's on the album, it's under 4.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So-
a poppy song
Yeah.
that can be poppy or it can be.
Yeah, and then, but I
epic.
mean, if you think about it, you know, Dire Straits, for instance, they had songs that had these gentle intros and gentle solos, and Mark
Build
Knopfler
up.
build up and
Yeah.
taking that. It's like you said, it's all about making a painting. You have to use different colors and get the dynamics working. That's, I mean, I get bored if I play all the time the same volume, same sound. I
Sure.
get really bored.
Sure. So people can buy this, of course. I think we artists like it the most when you buy direct from the artist
Yeah, you can
at
do
a
that.
live concert.
Or you, yeah, and I have a tour coming up in Germany. I think starting, I'll send you the dates. You can put it up in
Yeah.
September, October.
Okay.
And there's 15 or 16 dates. So
Yeah.
welcome, music lovers.
Yep.
And
So that's
don't be afraid to come and say hi and ask, what was that sound?
yeah. So you know that's the first choice for the musicians to buy them like direct. But the other thing is you are on all the download platforms and
then-
distribution.
And then the distribution in Germany is Broken Silence, which it's on Martin Engelien's label, so you can buy from A1 Records
Yeah.
straight. I mean, I always put pre-sales, you know, bundles with T-shirt and stuff up on my website, but you know, sending a vinyl from Finland to Germany is 19 euros, and the price is going to go up now. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I'll sign what if you get it from somewhere else, bring it along, I'll sign it. But you
Yeah.
know. But as I said, this is not business; it's personal.
Sure. And I know this is 21, right?
21st, yeah.
21st release. Do you see an end? Like, it's
Well, who was it? Was it? No, it was with. I talked with my brother on the phone today,
Yeah.
and I said, so he asked me how's it going. He's like, great, and you know, there's some new music, and Mika Tyska released
Yeah.
an album, Mr. Fastfinger.
Yeah.
It was a great album.
By the way, he sent me a message to greet the two of us because he's following us.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And the other one who just
Hi,
released
Mika.
an album, Robin Trower,
Yeah.
80 years old, and the album is great.
Yeah.
So as long as I can play and you know,
Feel
I'm
like
not a
doing
great
it,
singer, but
yeah.
as long as I can sing something, I want to do this, just as
Yeah.
you want to,
Yeah.
you know.
Hey guys, so this is Ben's new album. It's personal. Yeah, check it out.
Suicide business attempt.
Okie doke. Cheers.